Alright guys, Justin here, out with the kiddos doing some dirt time adventure. Real excited today. We're going to be going over Pathfinder Block 2, and one of the exercises is to research 3 different types of shelters, or I think it was 2, but we're doing 3 today, and choose between the one. And the things that we're trying to consider whenever we're building a shelter is regulating core body temperature and building a microclimate. And right now it's about 40 degrees outside and it's a little chilly. A little girl had to run in to get a bigger coat, and she'll be out here in a second to help with us. And it's important that in your survival that you're regulating that body core temperature by creating a microclimate that's built for the environment. We're going into the fall and it's coming on us quickly, and so we're going to be looking at 3 different versions. One that would be more geared towards a winter, one towards a fall, and then a summer to fall type shelter. And so it's important that you try these out, guys. Find out what works for you, and be sure to stay safe and stay warm in the outdoors. So stick with us, and we're going to get this video rolling and get the shelters built. So, all right, guys. Come here, big girl. Hurry, run. We're gonna get started. Ugh. You got your worm? All right, let's get to building some shelters. Go help Bubba over there.
I think I'm done now.
All right, guys, the 2 key components to today's shelters is a good quality cordage and a good tarp. And so we're gonna be using some bank line in orange and gonna be using an orange space blanket with the reflective side. And so as we get started, the most important thing to these shelters is to have a good quality ridge line. And so as we get ready to start, we're going to start off with a ridge line, and then we're going to go over our first shelter. You remember what it's called?
Plow point.
Say it real loud.
Plow point.
A plow point. And Caleb, what's the purpose of a plow point?
Stay shelterized.
To stay shelterized. New phrase coming to you from Dirt Time Adventures. And so stick with us. We're going to go over this and get this thing strung and let the kiddos climb inside of it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build, to put a loop in our line. I'm going to have Caleb hold the string. And any type of loop will work for this. You can use a slip loop. You can just do an overhand loop. And just taking a bite on it, bringing it through, creating a loop. All right, and so since we're using a long hank of cordage, we're gonna have to cut it, but that's okay. And so I'm gonna have Trinity come over here. All right. And normally I like to put my ridge line at about waist level, but a little bit smaller tarp, we're gonna go down to mid-thigh. Hold these two right there. Hold both of them. Caleb, just run that one across and go all the way around and back to the middle. Don't pull real hard. All the way around. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Very good. And hold the line right there.
Hold it right here.
Yeah, that'll work. All right. Very good. And so now we're going to take this in, let go of it, and run it back through that original loop that we created. And let go, sister. And you're actually going to pull it on itself, bring it around, once again keeping it mid-thigh level. We're going to find an anchor point that we're going to grab and be able to tighten to create it tighter. And so what we're going to do here is just create a simple slip knot by turning it over on itself and pulling through. Create a slip knot. That way it'll slip up and down the line. And so bringing our other end around, going to grab it now, put it through the slip knot. Using that slip knot to tighten it, I'm tightening it down on that, and then I'm going to create a trucker's hitch, which is coming over, grabbing it through, and pulling it tight on itself. And that creates a trucker's hitch so that I can run this up and down through it. So there's my slip knot with the trucker's hitch. I can tie off this other part or just let it dangle. And so that's our ridge line. Alright?
And Daddy?
What? You got you a stick? Good. We're going to need those sticks for toggles. Alright guys, so what we do once we get our ridge line set is we're going to go ahead and use a toggle and put the one corner. We're going to go lengthwise, the longest section. This is a 5x7 tarp, and so we're going to go the lengthwise of 7 feet, and we're going to take one of those corners. You got a toggle? And so we're going to use just a stick today, and once you run that trucker's hitch through your grommet, you take your toggle, stick it into the thing, and pull your trucker's hitch knot tight with the loose end. Alright, and that gives us our highest peak in our ridge, and this is going to affect the microclimate, how much air gets in and how much air gets out. If we raise the ridge line, then there's going to be more airflow that gets in. We lower the ridge line, less airflow. And so once again, we're going about mid-thigh to waist level to mid-thigh. And so once you get that point, then it's just a matter of staking out the other 3 points.
I got that one.
Because I don't have tie-outs on each of my grommets, it's important that in order to drive stakes into this, you either have to, one, use rocks and use them as weights on each of your corners, which is good to have in an emergency and pinch, especially if you don't have stakes, or take a little piece of your bank line or paracord or whatever you're using and create a loop with it. You can tie in a fisherman's knot at the end or just tie an overhand knot at the end to create a loop. So I'm going to create 4 of those for each of the staking points, and then also use one for whenever we get to the lean-to. So create about 3 or 4 of these. That way I can use them for tie-outs, and also we're going to create a prusik knot to use for the lean-to. So stick with me, guys. Just that part. Squat down on your knees.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. Keep driving it. Awesome job. All right, let me see. Let me finish it off. All right.
Good job, good job. Warmer in here than it is out there. Yeah. It stinks in here.
It stinks in there.
No, it doesn't.
If it stinks in there, it's because you two stink.
Oh.
All right, so what's the name of this shelter called?
Plow point.
A plow point.
Daddy, it's a point. All right. Oh, it is warm. Make it all the way down there.
Get all the way down there.
Oh, yeah. Ah.
You think you could sleep in here?
Yeah.
I could sleep in here.
Yeah, it's warm.
All right, let's make our second shelter.
No!
All right, we're going to move on to our second shelter, which is
A-frame!
our A-frame.
Wait, doesn't it make an A?
All right, so to make our A-frame and to ruin our kiddos' day, we got to take down the plow point. And so what we're going to do there is, no! We're going to pull this trucker's hitch, toggle back out. And so what we got to do first, though, to relieve that tension, is to remove the stakes.
Oh, boy. No. No. Hey, just get on the floor, so.
Once we remove the stakes, then this will loosen up and we can pull that toggle back out. and remove that. All right. With the A-frame, we're just simply going to take it over the top.
Oh, yay. Yay! Oh, this is easy.
Pull that corner out there, son.
You're supposed to hold on to that side.
And we're going to find the center point of the tarp. So, Kev, take your two ends and match them together.
Yay!
All right, here's the center point.
Yay!
All right, so we take our center point here. If you had grommets in this portion of the tarp, you could do the same thing with the trucker's hitch to kind of keep it in place. But this tarp doesn't have grommets. So what we're going to do is just stake it down. At this point, you won't need the trucker's hitch. And
Am I doing it?
yep, hammer it down. You're doing a good job.
Okay. I keep it in the tarp. Okay. Look at all of you guys here.
And thus, we have our A-frame.
No! No! It's cold. It's cold. It's cold outside.
All right,
You know?
what's this one called?
A-frame.
A-frame.
Like, what? I don't know.
And our last shelter we'll do for the day is lean. All right, you silly gooses. On to our last shelter.
Yeah, get off.
All right. All right. On to the lean-to. Once again, we're going to use this trucker's hitch again.
How am I going to reach that thing?
And going to use this tick for a toggle.
Oh, yay!
Going to run our trucker's hitch through the hole.
I'm holding two ends. I'm holding two ends.
Stick this toggle through that hole and pull your trucker's hitch tight. Okay? Alright guys, so we have the trucker's hitch toggle down at the other end of the lean-to. On this end, shh, come here. On this end, I want to show you what we're going to do here. On this end, we're going to make a prusik knot. And so we've already got our loop. And so what we're going to do is put that over the rope and in and through itself 3 times. And that's going to create a self-tightening knot. And I'm kind of worried that our rope here may not be long enough, our ridge line may not be long enough to tighten it as much as we want. But we should be able to make do. Alright, I need a toggle. You guys, one of you guys got a toggle? There's one right here. Perfect toggle.
That's mine. That's mine. Automatic fine.
So take your toggle once you make your prusik knot. And then take your slip line. Oh, perfect. It's going to be long enough. And pull your prusik knot away, and that'll tighten that toggle on there. And then all we got to do is stake down the backside, guys.
So what's up with it's flying night. Tell you guys need to do this. Yeah, it's really cool. And fun. So, we just want to stay out here all night long. No, we aren't going to sleep out here tonight, but we might do it later. No, we need to sleep out here today. We're not going to sleep out tonight. Oh, we have to. We have other things to do. Nope, we're just staying here. No, we are not. Yes, we are. Crazy. I know I am. Ha, 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 ha. I got a question.
Yeah.
So if we had a fire in front of us, would the fire come in here and like probably trap itself in here?
Absolutely. That's exactly what would happen. Is if we had a fire out here, this reflective side would actually capture the heat and reflect it back down on you. And so this is the lean-to, and this is actually, once we built the three shelters, we have to choose between which one is best for our survivability. but also what's going to be most efficient for completing this Pathfinder Phase 1 course. And so what I've actually decided to do, well, let me ask you guys, Trini, come here real quick. If you had to choose one of the 3 shelters to stay in, which one would you choose? The plow point, the A-frame, or the lean-to?
The plow point.
The plow point. She liked the plow point. Kayla, what about you?
I'd have to agree with her, the plow point.
The plow point. And so the plow point is an awesome shelter, and in cold times that'd probably be your best bet, especially if you can't get a fire. But because I plan on working in my shelter and using it throughout this Pathfinder Phase course, I'm a little claustrophobic, so I'm going to be going with the lean-to. And actually the great thing about the lean-to is, like Caleb said, we can have a fire out front, reflect it back into the shelter, and that heat will come down upon me. And so that's the shelter I've decided to choose, mainly because I want to put a lofted bed in it, and if I can raise my ridge line, which is what I would do for this lean-to, I'd raise the ridge line so that it was a little bit taller, and probably a bigger tarp, and that will help create a great microclimate for the fall weather, and also for being able to work in and sit up in my shelter. And so I decided to go with the lean-to, guys. I may be freezing my butt off later wishing I went with the plow point, but I think for overall, for what I'm going to be doing, we're going to be using the lean-to. So what do you guys think of shelters?
They're pretty cool. And pretty nice. And also warm.
And warm. Did you notice a warmth difference? Because it's like 40 degrees outside right now. I'm trying to climatize my body to the cold weather. But you can see they're bundled up. But did you guys feel warmer in the shelter?
I felt warmer in the plow point than any of them.
Yeah, the plow point. It was amazing how much the heat difference was just within being in there a few seconds. So, all right, guys. You ready to go in?
Nope.
No?
Let's make the plow point and we'll sleep in it.
You want to make the plow point and sleep in it?
Yeah.
Trini, would you sleep in the plow point tonight? Yeah. If we were going to do that, we would need to get a bunch of leaves and create a nice soft bed.
We don't really have very many leaves. I'm okay with sleeping on the ground.
You too, huh? Alright guys, so we shot this video a little bit backwards, and we did one of the exercises. I believe it's exercise, module 2, exercise 1 we did first for this video, so that the kids could get out here and not get bored and be able to get them participating. But I do want to go back and catch modular 1 for block 2. And it's to find your personal space and note the resources. And so, what we also had to do was draw a map. And so, I don't know that you can capture it real well on this video. Let's see if I can get a close-up of it. Maybe you're catching it there. It's a little overcast, so it's a little hard. But what I have here is I've taken about, you know, they said 100 feet in the old Pathfinder Phase 1, but in the new one it didn't really give a distance. But I'm doing about 100 yards on mine. And within that 100 feet by 100 feet space would be my base camp. And so, but outside of that, we have a hill back behind me here. We have just behind the camera here. Let me go ahead and see if I can turn it to capture some of it. I have an oak grove. It's just a grove of oak trees. And there's a few others in there as well.
Isn't there some white oaks?
There's white oaks out there, and red oaks, and all kinds of oaks. And I think most of those are white oaks. And so got the grove back behind me, and then I got dense forest off here to the west of me, and my wind is going to be coming. It's actually right now coming right at me. So wind follows in cyclones. And so off to the north here I got Highway 62, but also along that highway at the tree line is a game trail, and then just on the other side of Highway 62 is Bob Kidd Lake. So that'd be my primary water source. There's a couple cisterns on the property here, some pond cisterns, but they dry up when it doesn't rain for a long time. So Bob Kidd Lake would be my primary water source. Part of exercise 2 modular 1 was to sit still and quiet for an hour and observe the surroundings and my experience. And I did that over in my actual base camp area, which is just behind me here. It's a lot thicker and there's a lot of poison ivy growing up, so I got to go back in and clear that out again. So I brought the kids just out here into the oak grove to shoot this video and do the shelters. But then I'm actually going to put up my lean-to in the actual camp area, my base camp. But as I was sitting there at base camp, I really began to question where I set up camp. And I contemplated why I chose to face my shelter towards the north and towards the northwest. Actually, is more or less where my base camp is facing. And I know the sun rises in the southern hemisphere and I'm losing some light by facing it that direction, but the overall beauty and essence of the forest was in front of me, and that was important, that as I do this phase 1 training, that I am fully engulfed in the woods. And I actually will find that the forest is going to provide me some comfort and some shelter. And so I really began to find comfort and confidence in knowing that I picked the right spot for me and my survivability. But as I was sitting in base camp, I really began to feel a shift in the air, and we're moving from the summer to the fall, and we can already see that in the way the trees are changing colors and the leaves are falling. And so really getting pumped and motivated for fall. I love the fall weather. And as that cool, crisp air whisk across my face, man, I can't get enough of it. And getting to see the squirrels scurry about, and it was a good time. When the leaves
fall.
Yeah.
It is fall.
It's fall. When the leaves fall, it's fall time. That's right. And the best thing about getting in the outdoors, guys, is especially getting to experience it with the ones you love. And so I sat quietly for an hour by myself, then brought the kiddos out here. But also, as I was sitting in my camp, I got to find a turtle the other day. And man, I love turtles. And it just reminded me that I'm doing what I'm called to do. I'm doing what needs to be done in my life so that I can fully experience the best for me. And so I knew right then that finding that turtle was a sign of the journey I had ahead of me in the outdoors. And I know without a doubt that it's so important that I reconnect with my roots and understanding who we are as people and who God created us to be. And I just don't believe God created us to go through life like we do, the 9 to 5. It makes no sense to me. And so but yeah, we talked about the plow point, the A-frame, and the lean-to. And the difference between the three is the plow point has coverage on all 3 sides, but it's very confined space. But it has the least heat loss of all of them. The A-frame has coverage on 2 sides, and it has some heat loss, and it's a great shelter as well. And the lean-to only provides coverage on 1 side, but it's the most open, the most versatile for working in, but it also has the most heat loss. But I did choose the lean-to, and I'm pretty confident that I made the right decision. So, well guys, this is Pathfinder Phase 1, Block 2, Part 1, and on Part 2 we're going to come back and I'm going to get the kiddos out here and we're going to construct a hearth pit, a fire pit, and going to work on that raised bed platform. So you guys, thanks again for tuning in with me and coming along this experience with me and my kids. We are so grateful for all of our family and supporters who allow us to get into the outdoors. And so once again, guys, this is Justin, Caleb, and Trinity here with Dirt Time Adventures. Please be sure to subscribe and connect with us on Facebook, and be sure to get the word out, and so we can continue to shoot videos and get them out to you guys. So God bless, get into the outdoors, take a kiddo with you.
Leaves are turning, there's a chill in the air. Campfires are burning, we're gathered round in chairs.